Wanted Dead is a short game of only 8 hours length that I played through just once, over 3 whole years ago. Yet I can still tell you that when the enemy starts flashing white, you press triangle and circle to just fucking demolish them. Years away from it, I can still feel the sickening push and pull of these ghastly animations, as if I played it yesterday. When I look at Wanted Dead, I see a balcony-grown honey tomato. This thing comes from an ugly place where nothing good should be able to grow. Easy to overlook, but to your surprise, the snack appears vibrant and perfectly formed. You take a bite. It's sour. Why is it so sour? Wanted Dead is insane. It's often been said to have the soul of a PS2 hack and slash. Punk enough that Grasshopper Manufacture could have released it back in like 2011. To think I have seen this marvel zoom just barely past the target of cult classic and sail off instead into the pitch black depths of pure obscurity. You will likely not hear this game mentioned again for years, maybe ever, and yet it's up there right now available for purchase. In 2023, I saw this thing at JB Hi-Fi. Having never heard of it before, I was weighing it up against Cyberpunk 2077. I distinctly remember being very impressed by the pink cover art and also unable to read the title text. If I knew nothing about either of these games and had only just seen the cover art, which one would I buy? Wanted Dead has a cat on the cover. The back of the box proudly references Ninja Gaiden. This was a game that would speak my language. 5 stages, 5 bosses. You know what you have to do. Flow state melee combat stages followed by glacially paced cutscenes of the uncanny nature. It's a simple game, yet it begs to be dissected. I felt the urge recently to give it a replay. After completion of the replay, I felt the urge to just play it again. And by the time the 3rd playthrough was done, I knew Wanted Dead was going to be log number 6. Let's get this out of the way. There's a lot of sickening violence. Yes, you are killing people, but it's as easy and cathartic as chopping potatoes or crushing a cardboard box.
I will absolutely kill you.
Over the course of the game, this repetitive action gets you into a sort of murderous flow state. It disarms you. You become gradually more receptive to the constant curveballs in the character's dialogue.
No jeans, no undies. He reaches for his dick and he finds that he has 4 balls.
Okay.
And the twists and turns of the nonsense narrative become a bit easier to swallow. What caught me most off guard during my replays was the narrative. It's really jam-packed for such a short game. When you return to the station in between stages, you are treated to back-to-back cutscenes, like 8 in a row. Torrents of razor-sharp dialogue that just drops you right in the middle of this terrible world. Characters will name-drop organizations, wars, and legislation that you'll never hear about again. There's the sense that this world is massive and complex, but also most of it's just not really very important to our characters. We'd rather drink coffee, talk shit, and be depressed. The amount of nonsense you have to hear and the speed with which it is dished out. Impossible to look away. My question is, why then is the narrative so depressing? In stark contrast to all the nonsense, the world of Wanted Dead is actually unbelievably dark. This is a bleak corporatocracy wherein PMCs will wipe your memories, tell you you're an android, and put you to work in the steel mill. Your team work with the police but have no idea who they are fighting, and it takes them an agonizingly long time to realize the wrong they are doing.
She's human.
Or so she thinks.
Having to massacre waves of dehumanized striking factory workers with these uncomfortably over-the-top execution animations. Uncomfortable and confused. It's like that sequence in Metal Gear Rising where you have to hear the thoughts of the people you're killing, but I feel way worse in Wanted Dead because initially I'm not even sure the game is aware of how fucked up this is. Wanted Dead is generally tone deaf. I'm never sure what to feel. Eventually, I do breathe a sigh of relief as Stone finally acknowledges the horrors we're taking part in.
I'm just saying that we might be on the wrong side here.
Oh, shit!
And then it's on to 99 Luftballons. Good to see a narrative with light and shade, but Wanted Dead doesn't even attempt to balance the two. The whiplash leaves such an impression, it ends up feeling very intentional, impossible to look away from. This game is alive in a way not many others can match. As the narrative progresses, we do sever our ties with the authorities and the corrupt corporations. Finally, we are able to redirect our unfathomable aggression towards the true evils of the world. The emotion behind this over-the-top violence feels very different in the last two acts. It's in retribution, fighting with everything you've got to protect that working class you previously oppressed. You might think the narrative would end on a high note with something courageous and stupid, No More Heroes 2 style, but here there is no punchline. I read a post on Steam commenting on the insane difficulty of the last level, and the responses were all, "Don't bother finishing it, there's nothing funny at the end." Ouch. Wanted Dead wants you, leaving sad and remorseful. The hint of hope lands on a flat note. Stone is going to keep fighting just like she always has, only now we understand why she doesn't have a choice. Overall, the narrative is a massive bummer. Another pretty big aspect that makes this game impossible to forget. So if I kept my games on a shelf, this would go in the S tier, right under No More Heroes. Though Wanted Dead is only about half as long as a No More Heroes game. There's only 5 stages here and 5 bosses. But do you know what? I don't really gaff. I can feel the combat system being stretched to its absolute limit during this last level. The number of cyborg ninjas that emerge from this room, the carnage, sparse checkpoints, stupid numbers of enemies, the carnage. Okay, so back in 2023 when I first rolled the credits, I remember seeing the Japanese hard difficulty level unlock and thinking, that's for me, let's go. Took me a while to get to, but in 2026 I reinstalled the game from disk and the PS5 sneakily installed the latest update. I hate how it does that. I'm informed there was some sort of combat overhaul patch released to make the game easier, enemies less spongy, and give the player some extra skills. Yeah, okay. This game was hard, and I loved it for that. Look, it's on the back of the box. So I deleted the install, then disconnected my PS5 from the internet so I could reinstall from disk and play the original unpatched version. Japanese hard was pretty hard. Sometimes you will nail like 6 perfect parries in a row and feel like a god. Other times you'll run around on low health, baiting easy counters. You'll lure cyborgs over to your party members for easy staggers. You might even land the last few hits on boss number 2 at range with your handgun because this freak is unpredictable and I have everything to lose. There's a secret weapon you can unlock from the Resi 4 shooting range. You'll need it.
Frankie, this shit is incredible.
This shit will get you killed.
This shit only took me about 2 weekends to complete. Wanted Dead is the perfect example of the short game. It's like watching a 6-episode long miniseries that quickly comes full circle. Isn't it paradoxical that a shorter and more modest game can end up leaving a stronger impression, like a surprisingly juicy vegetable found growing from a strange spot? So this log's almost finished. It's bittersweet. As I approach the upload, my time to experience this game has all but completely elapsed. Now I don't mind moving on when I'm writing about something like Resident Evil, which will always exist to be examined, but with Wanted Dead, I do feel a little remorseful. This game is less than a footnote in the annals of history. It exists in the shadows, both of its higher profile contemporaries and of what it could have been, was it polished just a bit longer for some mainstream appeal. It's gonna sound weird, but this feels like one of my games, like it was made just for me. No one else cares or talks about it, and no one I've recommended it to has finished it. So Godspeed, Hannah Stone. Don't ever give up your fight.